Hello everyone, this is Prasad, your English Fluency Guide. In today's reading session, I'm going to read Chapter 3 from the novel, The Legend of Spud Murphy. Chapter 3 is The Test. On that first day on the carpet, Marty decided that we should test Spud. So these two brothers, Will and Marty, went to library and they met librarian Murphy, and Murphy showed them children's section and gave them some instructions, and she also warned them not to step off the carpet. Now Marty wanted to test Spud Murphy. What will happen if we step off the carpet? This Marty wanted to test. When Spud said there would be trouble if you stepped off the carpet, what exactly did she mean? Murphy said, don't step off the carpet. In case if you step off the carpet, you will be in trouble. She told them clearly, you'll be in trouble. Now, what Marty wanted to know is, what is the trouble? Did trouble mean a strict talking to? What does it mean? Trouble means she will come to us, give warning. She will give punishment. Or did trouble mean being suspended by your fingernails or a pit of alligators? Alligators means they are just like crocodiles, very dangerous. So she will ask us to keep our hands in the mouth of alligators. That is too dangerous, right? So what is that you wanted to test? Because Marty is so mischievous. He's just 10 years old and is not afraid of anything. He's not disciplined at all. So he wanted to test Spud Murphy. That's why this chapter 3 is The Test. The name of this chapter is The Test. I need to know how much I can get away with, said Marty, tying his jumper around his neck like a bib. Marty said, I need to know how much I can get away with. Means how much can I manage in doing something bad? And what did he do? He tied his sweater, around his neck like a bib. He took off his jumper and tied it around his neck like a bib. Bib means it's a cloth we tie in front of our body when we eat meals, especially children. When they eat, we put on bib so that it will protect our clothes. I don't need to know, I said, remembering the boy who had run past us in hysterics. I will just sit here and pretend to read. I don't need to know. I refers to the narrator. Who is the narrator of the story? Will. What did he say? I don't need to know. Okay. What is meant by hysterics? Extreme or uncontrollable emotion. When they entered the library, do you remember one boy ran off? He ran away from the library. Okay, he said, don't go there. Don't meet that woman. Don't meet that librarian. She is too dangerous. I just forgot to return the book. See my condition. Like that, he ran away from the library. Okay, we'll remember that incident, that scene he remembered. And he said, I don't need to know anything. I will just behave as Murphy said. Murphy asked me to sit on the carpet and read books. I will do the same thing. I don't want to take any risk, Will said. I will just sit here and pretend to read. Actually, I don't want to read, but I will pretend to read. Pretend means I will just act. You are such a chicken, said Marty. Chicken means a timid person. You are so timid. No wonder Action Man is your only friend. Okay, you got only one friend, that is Action Man, your toy. No wondering that because you are such a chicken, you don't take any risk, you don't talk to anyone. That's why you got very few friends. Your best friend is only Action Man. No wonder in that. So Marty said that his brother is a timid. I, on the other hand, I'm an actual hero type. I'm not your type. You're a timid person. You're a chicken. On the other hand, I'm not like that. I'm not your type. Hero type. I'm hero type. I'm prepared to take risks. What do heroes do? They take risks. They're not afraid of anyone, right? In movies like that. Marty is boasting himself. I'm a hero type and I'm prepared to take risks. I want to test Spud Murphy. I will step up the cockpit and then what will happen? I will see. Why did you tie your jumper to your chest? Will asked him. Why did you take off your jumper and tie it to your chest like a bib? Why did you do so? Wait and see, chicken boy, said Marty. Wait and see. I have my plans. You just observe me. Just see, wait and see. What will I do? You'll be surprised. Like that, Marty said to his brother, Will. My big brother walked around the edge of the carpet, checking if Spud would spot him. His big brother, Will's big brother. Who is Will's big brother? Marty. He walked around the edge of the carpet. He did not step up the carpet. He just walked around the edge of the carpet and observed the surroundings. Okay, librarian, Spud Murphy is not here. Okay, whatever I want to do, I can do now because he's not here. She may not observe us like that, Marty thought. She can't even see us, he said. We can do whatever we want. We can do now. We can do so many mischievous things in the library. We need not read the books. Marty told his brother. I was starting to get worried. I refers to the narrator. Who is the narrator of the story? Will. His name is William, actually. So parents call him Will. I was starting to get worried. Whenever a boy did something wrong, grown-ups tended to blame the entire family. What are you going to do? I asked. He was a little bit worried because whatever they do, first of all, whatever the children do, first of all, we blame the family members because of your parents. You behave like this. Your parents did not tell you, did not teach you how to behave. So first of all, the elders scold children's parents. That's why Will is a little bit worried. Whatever Marty does, it will they will scold Will's parents now. That is the reason he's a little bit worried. What are you going to do? I asked. Then Will asked, what are you going to do? You took off your jumper and you tied it to your neck like a bib. What's your plan? What are you going to do? Tell me. Don't do anything wrong. Just sit here on the carpet and read. Listen to Murphy, or else you'll be in trouble. Why do you want to test Spud Murphy? Marty smiled. Marty didn't care at all. The best way to mess with a librarian is to put things back in the wrong place. So in order to trouble Murphy, the best thing is to put things back in the wrong place. In library, all the books in the proper place. Okay, science, philosophy, and biology. Okay, so they are arranged in proper manner so that we can find out the book, whatever the book we want. We can go there, we can see the shelf, we can see the list. Based on that, we can easily find out. So the best way to mess with a librarian, in order he wants to trouble, he wants to test librarian here. That's why he wanted to put things back in the wrong place. He rubbed his hands gleefully. Gleefully means delightfully, happily. He rubbed his hands because he's getting ready to do something mischievous in library. They hate that. It drives them nuts. If I do like that, if I misplace the books, all the books here and there, they hate that. Librarians hate that. It drives them nuts. They will be like mad fellows. They'll be totally disturbed. I want to see when Murphy is disturbed. Marty was an expert on messing with librarians. He was an expert earlier also. When his parents sent him to the library, he did these kind of things. He irritated the librarians. He gave them a lot of trouble. But here, what Marty didn't know is this librarian is different. Okay, Spud Murphy is different from others. He's so strict. But Marty didn't know that. There had been several notes home from the school library. Earlier, he brought so many notes home from the school library and he did not return them. So I'm just going to switch a few books for Mrs. Spud Murphy. By the time she finds out, we'll be home watching cartoons. And he thought she may not find that. By the time she finds out, we will be at home. No problem. Happily, we can watch our cartoons. Excuse me. Marty lay on his stomach and wiggled out onto the wooden floor. So what he did now, he stepped off the carpet and lay on his stomach. Okay, he started crawling because he should not make any noise. If he makes any noise, the librarian will come, will find out, right? That's the reason he lay on his stomach and wiggled out onto the wooden floor. Slowly he's crawling on the floor without making any noise. He glided across the polished planks on a double layer of wool. He glided. Glided means he moved across the polished planks, wooden floor. Slowly is crawling on the floor. We had to admit it. Marty was the master. Will says he was the master. He did many things like this earlier too. Like a crocodile swimming down the Nile, Marty slid to the nearest bookshelf with barely a sound. How the crocodile swims in the Nile River, like that, Marty slid to the nearest bookshelf. Slowly went to the bookshelf without making any noise. So Will says he is a master, he is a very skillful person doing such kind of things. He climbed onto the bottom shelf and perched there motionless. He climbed onto the bottom shelf. Okay, there are many shelves, 4 shelves, 5, and some sections 6, 7 like that. Okay. So he climbed onto the bottom shelf and perched there, rested there motionless without moving because he is observing. Okay. He's observing if Spud Murphy comes, definitely they will be punished. They will be spotted. That's the reason he was very careful. There was only one other person at this end of the library, a short man with a gray hair and bushy eyebrows. He saw one person, that person is a short person and a gray hair, elderly person, bushy eyebrows, very thick eyebrows. Marty waited until he moved away before he began causing mischief. Marty waited. Okay, that person, let that person go. Let him go. Then nobody will be there. Then I can misplace all kind of books. Then librarian will come and okay, will be shocked, will be disturbed, like that Marty thought. One book at a time, he switched almost every single book in the section. So he went to that section, he climbed the shelf and he waited until everybody left that place. Okay. And after that, he switched almost every single book. He replaced the books from this corner to that corner, from one shelf to another, from philosophy section to literature section, something he changed like that. He put mysteries with romance, adventure with bird mysteries, adventure with bird mysteries with romance, adventure with bird watching, and gardening with model aeroplanes. What did he do? A mystery section with romance. He combined the books, mixed the books, mysteries books with romance, adventure stories books with bird mysteries, and bird mysteries with romance. Like that, everything he mixed it. Totally, he messed it up. One book at a time, he switched almost every single book in the section. He put mysteries with the romance, adventure with bird mysteries with the romance, adventure with bird watching, and gardening with model aeroplanes. Spud would be furious. Spud will be very angry. To make matters worse, Marty intended swapping the reference sheets at the end of each shelf. And what else he did? To make matters worse, Marty intended swapping the reference sheets and he exchanged. Swap means exchange. The reference sheets. Reference sheets will be there for, on every shelf. Okay. If you look at the reference sheets, we will understand what book, where is that book, or what is this section, everything, that information will be there, total information. Those reference sheets also he swapped, he exchanged. These pages told the reader what kind of book was on that particular shelf. What is the use of that reference sheet? Through this reference sheet, the students will come to know where is that book, in which shelf he can get the book he wants. But what did he do now, Marty? He changed it totally, swapped all the reference sheets. So this will create a confusion. Marty reached up slowly and tore the sheet from the clip that held it. Reached up slowly and tore the sheet. The sheet which gives the information about the books is torn. Marty tore it. Suddenly, a shadow fell across my brother. Then what happened? A shadow fell across my brother, a big shadow. It was a big, sharp shadow, and it belonged to a big, short person. It was a big shadow. It belonged to a big, short person. I turned to look. It was Spud. She had appeared without a sound like a ninja librarian. Okay, ninja means a skillful person, a person who has great skills. So how she came like that, they didn't even observe. Very silently, without making any noise, she appeared there. A big shadow fell over Will's brother. Spud stood, slippered feet apart, with her hands hovering over the book stamps on her belt. She carries 2 stamps on her belt too. Okay, so many stamps on the desk, and she carries 2 stamps. They look like guns. Earlier we read in the chapter 2. Slippered feet apart. Okay, like stand at ease. When we stand at ease, like that, she stood and looked at these 2 boys. She was so angry. Marty hadn't seen her and was still holding the reference page. I saw Spud Murphy, but Marty didn't see. So still he is busy with that reference page, is staring that page. It was too late to warn him. There was nothing I could do. It was too late. Already Spud Murphy entered there. So there is no use of informing. Spud Murphy came like that, he could not inform. Spud's left hand moved with a lightning speed. Spud Murphy's left hand moved with a lightning speed, which is great speed, grabbing the book stamp. She grabbed the book stamp from her belt and threw it on one smooth, precise motion. Threw it immediately. It tumbled through the air so fast that it hissed. Shh! The sound came because she threw it so fast. Marty turned just in time to see the block of wood and rubber heading in his direction. Marty then just turned. What is this? What does it sound like that? But it's too late already. It's already too late. It was too late to move out of the way. He could not move out of the way. That rubber stamp is coming towards him. All Marty could do was close his eyes and squeal like a kitten. What could he do? He could not do anything, could not escape that. What could do was, he just closed his eyes and squealed like a kitten. Kitten means cat. The rubber stamp snagged the reference page in Marty's hand, plucking it from his fingers and stamping it against the shelf. She threw the rubber stamp and it came and picked up the page, reference page from Marty's hand, and plucking it from his fingers and stamping it against the shelf. So she threw it in such a fast manner. So it stamped it against the shelf. The force of the throw was so strong that the page stayed there for several seconds after the stamp had fallen to the ground. So you can imagine that the force of the throw was so strong that the page stayed there, stayed against the shelf for several seconds like that. Stamp fell down, but the page is stuck to that shelf. 2 words were stamped on the page in purple ink. Damaged goods. What it stamped? Damaged goods. So how skillful, how fast this librarian, Murphy. Children understood. I knew it, said Spud slowly. I can always tell a troublemaker. When you came here, that time only I guessed already. I knew about you. I took one look at you, Master Martin Woodman. His full name is Master Martin Woodman. So we simply call him Martin. I know about you. And I knew it would be off that carpet before I was back at my desk. And one more thing. Before I was back at my desk, I knew you would be off that carpet. I know that. Even though I gave you warning. You wouldn't care. I knew, that's why I just followed you. You set me up, said Marty, surprised. Marty was surprised. That's right, I was waiting behind the shelf. Yes, that's right. I set you up. I was waiting behind the shelf. I was just waiting. The jumper trick was good, but I tracked a lot sneakier than you in my day. The jumper trick was good. You took off your jumper and tied it to your neck, and you put it on like a bib so that there'll be no noise. That trick was good, but I tracked a lot sneakier than you in my day. But so many. I have a lot of experience here. I know I can say by seeing the face who is the troublemaker, who is the good student, everything I know. Marty stood slowly, no sudden moves. I'm sorry, Mrs. Murphy. They call her Spud Murphy, right? So it came out and he bit his tongue. Mrs. Murphy said, I will never leave the carpet again. I'm so sorry. I will never leave the carpet again. Please excuse me just this once, he requested Mrs. Murphy. Spud slid across the floor on her slippers. She came very fast towards this boy. Too late for that. Since you are already off the carpet, you can fix the damage you've done. You damaged the library. You changed the swapped the reference sheets and you changed the books too. So already it's damaged. It's too late for that. So you have to fix that damage, whatever you did. So now you arrange the books in order. But there are hundreds of books. I can't remember them all. Then Marty said, there are hundreds of books. I just swapped them, but it was very easy for me to swap the books. But now it will be very difficult for me to arrange them in order. There are hundreds of books. Spud ran a finger along the shelf. Each book has a number. This section starts at number 560. Each book has a number. Don't worry, I will tell you how to fix that damage, how to fix that problem. Each book has a number. This section starts at number 560. This section starts at, what is the number? 560. So look at the book, see the number and arrange them in order. She plucked a book from the shelf. Here it is. I started you off. You get this in order by the time your mother comes to pick you up. And maybe I won't have to tell her how you set up the fire extinguishers. Here it is. Okay, see this number, this book you should be here. So remaining books you have to keep in the proper place. And before your mother comes to pick you up, you have to arrange all the books in order, or else I will have to tell your mother that you set off the fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers, whenever fire accident is there, we will set off the fire extinguishers. You set off that fire extinguisher, I will tell your mother. Are you ready for that? Marty's mouth flapped, but he could not understand what to tell. Oh, why would she tell lies to my mother? I did not set off the fire extinguisher. I did not touch them anything. I just swapped the books. And she is threatening me that she would tell his mother that he set off the fire extinguisher. So that's why Marty's mouth flapped. Okay, moving in fear, his lips. But I didn't, he said. But I didn't. Spud put her hands on her hips. I know you didn't. Yes, you didn't set off any fire extinguisher. I know that. And I'm sure your mother will believe that. Your mother also will believe that. Unless, of course, you've been in trouble before. Okay. If you haven't been in trouble before, your mother also will believe your words. But his mother, Marty's mother, knows about. That's the reason they sent him to library. Okay. At home, they are disturbing a lot. They are bringing their friends and making hell up. That is the reason. They're not at all disciplined. That is the reason parents send them to library. Marty thought about it for a moment, then began rearranging books as fast as he could. No, if you tell my mother like this, definitely my mother will scold me, will give me punishment. So it's better rearranging the books. Okay, I'm really sorry. I will arrange the books. Don't tell my mother that I did something mischievous, please, he requested Murphy. He knew when when he had met his match. He knew. So this is the perfect match. He is a troublemaker, and Miss Murphy is also not less than that. She is also so clever. She knows how to handle these kind of kids. So that's why here he knew when he had met his match here, Miss Murphy, Mrs. Murphy. 2 hours and 14 paper cuts later, Marty was finished. Finally, somehow with somewhat difficulty, he could arrange the books, he could fix that problem. He sat on the carpet sucking his fingers. Now, after fixing that, he came back to his carpet and he was sucking his fingers. That wasn't so bad, he said on the way to exit. I've had teachers meaner than her. Oh, what is there? Nothing. I had teachers meaner than her. What is this, Murphy? I handled many teachers meaner than her, who is very bad than her. I handled. This is what? Nothing to me. Like that, again he said, Marty said to himself. And while he was going out, he said those words. Marty was actually getting cocky again. Again, yeah, cocky means a little bit proud, arrogant. Again, he was arrogant. Marty, don't you remember the rubber stamp? She nearly took your head off. Will said, don't you remember the rubber stamp? She threw the rubber stamp, it would have hit your head. Don't you remember that again? Why are you talking like this foolish way? Yes, that was cool. She must practice for horse. Do you think she will really say that I set off the fire extinguishers? Oh, yes, that was cool. She practiced it. She did not intend to hit me. She practiced it for several hours. Do you think she will really say that I set off the fire extinguishers? What do you think? Do you think she will really say that I set off the fire extinguishers? She will really say to my mother like that? I don't care, I said. I just want to get out of here. Marty had started to wander over towards Spud. I couldn't believe it. Mom was outside waiting in the car. I could see her through the swing doors. We were almost safe, and Marty was going over to the librarian's desk. Okay, mother already has come. Mother was waiting outside. So we are almost safe. Nothing happened. We did something mischievous, but we could fix it. So we are going home now, she said. He said, Marty said. Excuse me, Mrs. Murphy. Spud's head swiveled slowly like a tank gun. Her eyes landed on Marty. Martin Woodman, back for more. I would have thought you would keep well away from me. I would have thought you would keep well away from me. You know about me now. If you misbehavior, I can't tolerate it. Just one question, Mrs. Murphy. You wouldn't really say I set off the extinguishers, would you? You won't say to my mother, no, I set off fire extinguishers, would you? Spud smiled back at Marty. Her teeth looked like a row of just a minute. Spud smiled back at Marty. Her teeth looked like a row of icicles. Icicles means a hanging, tapering piece of ice. Okay, very sharp. Her teeth are like that. Oh, wouldn't I? I don't think so. Throwing a stamp is one thing. That was cool, by the way. You liked that, did you, Martin? Sure did. Spud opened the box on her desk. I have a collection of stamps here. One came in last week you might like. It's in the shape of a pirate flag. I have so many stamps here. Okay, one stamp is in the shape of a pirate flag. A lot of the boys like me to stamp it onto their forearms like a temporary tattoo. She began to close the box, but maybe you are too young. So many boys like that stamp. It looks like a tattoo, pirate flag. You two want it? Marty was already rolling up his sleeve. No, I love that on my arm. Wait until the lads in the swimming pool see this. Spud selected a stamp, inking it on a blue pad. Are you sure, Martin? This won't wash off for days. Are you sure? Do you really like it? Do you really want it? See, this won't wash off for days. It will be there for 1 day, 1 week or 2 weeks like that. Are you ready? I'm sure. Stamp away. No problem, madam. Stamp away. Well, if you're sure. Okay, your wish. Spud smiled widened. Okay, then keep still. The librarian rolled the rubber stamp across Marty's forearm, across and back 3 times. When she removed the stamp, we leaned in to examine the pirate ship. So what Mrs. Murphy said, it's a pirate ship. Okay, and they wanted to look at that tattoo, but it's not a pirate ship. Only it wasn't a pirate ship. It was a short sentence of 3 words. The words were, I love Barbie. Okay, It's not the pirate ship flag. It's a pirate ship. It's three. It was a short sentence of three words. What are the three words? I love Bobby. Oops, said Spud. Wrong stamp. Sorry about that. Oh, it's no. I'm sorry. It's a wrong stamp. Marty couldn't speak. If anyone saw those words on his forearm, he would be teased for all eternity. He couldn't speak. He didn't like it. I love Bob. If anyone sees that, and they will be teased. They'll be teasing him forever. You boys had better hurry up, said Spud, placing the stamp back in the box. One more thing. Any more of your little games and I get nasty. There are worse things in this desk than rubber stamps. You boys had better hurry up, okay? I'm not going to tolerate if you try to play any mischievous tricks. Okay, I'm going to become a nasty person. There are worse things in this desk, not only this stamp, many are there. And don't try to test me. Clearly, she gave warning to the children. We walked to the door. Marty held his arm in front of him as though it belonged to someone else. Spud called to him as he opened the door. Oh, Martin, she said, enjoy swimming. So this is the chapter 3 from the novel, The Legend of Spud Murphy. Very interesting novel. Once again, I suggest you to read chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then chapter 3. Chapter 3. Children enjoy a lot. Parents especially. You can read this book to your children. Thank you all of you. See you in the next session. Until then, take care. Bye.